Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
Steve Butala here for Land Academy. Welcome to our Cash Flow from Land show. In this episode, Jill and I talk about scared straight employees. I've never heard Jill laugh so hard, but it's just now. Because it's the first time I think she read the title of the show.
So funny.
Specifically, when to cut them loose. And when to show some compassion and basically help them run our shop. Jill, I bet, like this topic, like most, we may differ on this, but we'll see.
You know what? I think that you think we have a different attitude, but at the end of the day, I think we're on the same page with this one.
I've heard you call me your junkyard dog from Detroit.
It's
in the past and in certain situations, and I think it's a good thing.
What was it?
That's why we get along so well.
Yeah. You're my Italian thug from Detroit is what it is.
I forgot.
So if I ever need something, don't make me call on the Italian thug from Detroit, which he's not.
Well, we just use
that.
People who work here probably think that.
They might think that.
So I titled it Scared Straight Employees because everybody out there has been an employee, and a lot of people have been employers, and everybody shakes their head, probably shaking their head when they just read the title.
Right.
But I also mean like contractors, like business contractors, and I mean virtual assistants and the whole thing. You know, when do you cut them loose? Yeah. Or when do you say, I believe in you, kid, but you got to step it up?
I would like to explain how we got to this topic and what happened in our world. There is a day in the last few days where the holidays are over. It's time to show up. And
no sad.
Stephen and I came in with some really big goals of stuff that needed to get done. Everybody was in agreement. It was a 7 a.m. in your seat, ready to go kind of day, because we knew we had that much stuff to accomplish. So, and for me, 7 a.m. in my seat is not my normal thing. So,
well, you can say that again.
Stephen, it might be 6:30. It's definitely 7. It's probably 6:30, probably closer to 6. For Jill, no, it's I'm a kind of 8 to 9. There's a gray area there, but I will stay until things get done. I have a whole different work ethic, and and it's just different too. Even though I'm not here in my office, it's not that I'm not working. I'm working on different things sometimes, I have a different way of doing business, basically. So 7 a.m., here we are in our seats. Somebody's not there. And it's not like this person.
Well, we're not singling anybody out.
We aren't. Well, yes, we are.
It's one of our people.
Yeah. One of our people. So the point is, one of our people wasn't there. Time goes on. They finally come in, and I'm mad at this point because it was a big deal for me to get here, and they weren't here, and I hadn't heard from them. So, and I don't usually get mad. So, and they came in, and they knew it, and they were very apologetic. They were really cool about it. They understood, and the point was, it was a phone dying, 3-year-old phone dying incident. And it's not like this person, and we'll talk about that too. So it all happened funny, but what happened was that person who was already a great employee became that much better employee.
Yeah, I would not release her. There's no.
Oh no.
I mean, there's all. Don't tell her this.
Oh no, she's going nowhere.
Our people don't listen to this show, do they?
Oh no, she doesn't listen. So yeah,
I would not. She is. She could get away with so much more than that, in my opinion, and still have a pretty secure job here.
Oh yeah,
she's a great performer.
She's wonderful, but it was just so funny. So we got in, and my first thing was, "You're here now. I appreciate what you have to say. We'll talk about it later. Let's get to work. I've been waiting for you. I need these things from you." and we got the stuff done. So that's how the topic came about, the whole day. So what was really...
I don't think anybody knows what scared straight is. It might be like a Midwest generational thing for me. Here's what scared straight is.
We heard about it in California.
Okay. Well, when I was a kid, and I don't know, I looked it up recently because there's some kids that I'd like to scare straight in this new generation. Anyways, the Scared Straight program was all about keeping kids off the streets and crime free, and generally setting them, like we all try to do, get them down the right path. And the Scared Straight program back then involved like putting your kids in a
like a juvie
in
overnight
a prison,
or something,
in a federal prison for one night. Under like just to scare them.
Like I've been there, juvie, juvenile hall.
Jill, have you ever worked at the Disneyland Hotel?
I have worked at the Disneyland Hotel.
That cracks me up every time you say
it. Juvie. There's no.
We are very unlikely partners. Because I did not work at the Disneyland Hotel.
No, I did not.
And if somebody said at that age, probably when you did, Steve, you could work at the Disneyland Hotel.
Do you know what's funny?
And I would have told him. This is a rated G program. I'm not going to say it.
What's funny is at that point in our lives, when I was working at the Disneyland Hotel, you were probably killing it at the Italian restaurant.
Killing is something like probably.
Maybe. I don't know what you were doing then. So that was like high school stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so.
Scared Straight.
Yeah, so Scared Straight is this program back then. You just scare the heck out of your kids or send them over to somebody that scared them. And it wasn't just putting them into prison overnight. It was just putting them into environments that are just awful so that they make different decisions when they're younger.
Right. This is where you'd end up kind of thing.
Scaring them straight.
Yeah.
It's a good title,
If you
actually.
are caught shoplifting or whatever, let's
that's
just
right.
say.
That's right, Joe.
You will spend 3 years here. Let's go visit and see what it looks like.
Right.
Do you want to spend 3 years here? Let's think about our decisions. That kind of a thing.
Right. So.
Yeah. So what was funny was I remember you saying the day this happened, because I don't usually get mad. And you suddenly got mad. You're like, Jill, you were mad.
You know what, Joe? When you get mad about anything, I stop what I'm doing because it doesn't happen very often. And it's for some reason something got to a point with you that I do need to get involved because I don't think you're very practiced at being mad.
I don't make good decisions when I'm mad. You're right.
I'm very. I have a lot of saddle time in being mad.
I have very few hours.
Your whole life is maybe 2 hours combined of being mad.
My flight hours is in sitting left seat in the mad plane is minimal. No, Steven's good. He's a great mad pilot. I'm the flight attendant in the back handing out drinks. Yeah. Is somebody mad? I didn't know.
I'm pretty level-headed until the very end.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to no, it doesn't matter. It's not about that.
Right.
So with employees and vendors and virtual assistants and all that stuff, my whole point to all of this is you got to keep the big picture about you and say, look, I mean, this person, maybe they're screwing up this whole week, or maybe they got something going on in their personal life, but you have to decide who's worth it and who's not. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, my personal experience with virtual assistants is one time I have a one screw up rule.
One strike, you're out.
Yeah, one strike.
Got it.
With employees like we have here, it takes a lot.
Well, it depends. It depends on their work and stuff. You can kind of tell.
Yeah, I think you can tell.
If this was a normal pattern with this person, if this person was not doing great in other areas, and then we add this into the equation, I'm not going to have a lot of patience.
Yeah.
But if somebody's killing it in every single other area, I get it. Stuff happens, and this is sometimes stuff happens, and it's okay. Just don't make it a habit.
We have a different person who works for us who has a lot on their plate. This isn't the only job that they have, and I think she's still in school. I'm not sure. And that's about all I want to know about that person's or any employee's personal life, by the way. In fact, the less you know, the better in general. But she's got a weird schedule. So, and she's a total keeper. So I say, when we did do this a while ago, we said, just make your own hours then. Cause the stuff that she actually works on is not like on the phone, closing real estate deals.
Right.
It's all mechanical stuff that doesn't
Behind
matter.
the
She does it
scenes.
2 a.m.
Right.
So, and that worked out great. That was a problem solved situation with that particular person. She makes her own hours. I get the report every morning, and I can see whether she did it or not immediately. And she always does it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she's probably pretty happy. I don't know if she's happy. I don't talk to her, and that's how I like it.
You know, I have a point to bring up. It's almost even better that you have to go through a situation like this, and it's kind of, you know, to see who you're working with.
I agree.
So
everybody's got to screw up a little bit to find out where everybody's lines are.
Exactly. It's not bad in any environment, I think. I'm not saying test this, you know, wherever you are, if you're the employee, you know, but it's good to see how you handle it, how your superior handles it. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of benefits to having little hiccups like this. So
I also grew up in a generation and in an environment which is heavy industrial environment from a work standpoint, where motivating people by fear, or leading by fear, I should say, not motivating, was very common. And I've never believed in that. I think fear is I think it's an awful thing.
I agree.
And I don't think you're never going to get the best out of anybody by scaring them.
Correct.
And making them wonder if they're going to do security.
Create a lawsuit.
You know, when I wrote when I wrote this title, like Scared Straight, I'm like, ugh, because that whole fear thing came back to me, that topic.
Right.
And that's not what I mean.
That's not the way.
That never works.
We're just having fun with that title. We're like, yeah, that's perfect. That fits.
Another thing that never works is the Peter Principle. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I'm very familiar with that.
What are your thoughts? Well,
because I worked, I don't think it's changed in the last however many years.
Is there anybody that believes in that?
It happens. It's
if you live under a rock and you don't know what it is, it's promoting someone to the point where they fail.
Yes. It's hard to work for a large organization that has more than, I don't know, hundreds, maybe even 100 people. At one time, my company had 100,000 employees. You better believe I saw the Peter Principle. You know, and I worked for those people, and it was...
Did it ever happen to you personally?
Horrible.
Did you ever get promoted to the point where you just sucked at your job?
Nope. No, but I watched others do it, and then I worked for people that I'm like, why are they doing this job? Holy cow, they don't know what they're doing. So
I'm living that right now.
What?
I promoted myself to own the company, and
you're failing
at it.
Okay, well, apparently you could have less than 100 employees and still the Peter Principle.
There's a lot of people that maybe they're just a one-man or two-man shop or two-person shop, and
that's great.
They're promoted.
I'm going to use that later. I would just say, guess what we just realized with Steven? We promoted him too far. This is not working.
He's now out of his league.
It's right. The business is going to fail. We got to quickly get someone in his place.
So here's the opposite of that. I had a business partner a long time ago. Here's the opposite of that. I had a business partner a long time ago, and he, you know how Google's got, you know, you see these images of people who work at Google and some of the extremely cash flush.
No.
They're cash flush companies. Google's a perfect example where
like they show their
they take a nap during the middle of the day.
That, yeah. The pod.
Daycare,
what wasn't it from the movie?
All that stuff.
Yeah, okay.
So I didn't see that movie. I know what you mean.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's an extreme. The pendulum swung way too far back. And, you know, we go to work, you go to work. You don't go take a nap and sleep in a pod and have creative thoughts. Sure, there's people that have jobs that are supposed to have creative thoughts, but you're there to work.
Well, hold on, everyone. This is where we're going to disagree. It was the woman who's the head of Huffington Post. You know, I think she's Miss Huffington.
Okay.
But she believes in meditation, and there are meditation breaks that they offer their employees throughout the day. Is that making you seethe?
We're going to get to know Jill in this episode.
Okay, wait. Hold on. There's got to be some downtime.
I agree. Not
okay,
at work.
Good. And this is why we have different offices
and
different
people
staff.
And everything.
Who, you know what? Okay, let me back up. I am sure that there are people that love to work for me, and there are people on our team that love to work for you, and that's all I'm going to say. You have a different way, I have a different way, and it's no way's right or wrong. They're just different.
I get along with people who get their stuff done. There's no talking about it at all. They all know what they're doing. There's not even really socializing or anything, and that's it. In fact, if they're not here, that's better.
I gotta say, do you remember when you and I first started working on stuff together, and we both professional, but just had different, like you just said, different ways of doing things.
Right.
And our offices, there was a door between our offices. Thank goodness there was a door between our offices because we would have killed each other. Because the way
That's when we were really brand new at this. Together.
A long time ago. That was at a different office. Yeah. Remember? And, it was hilarious. But, yeah, we would be... This is so good. Here's how much Stephen hates talking.
I don't hate talking.
Our offices.
We have a talk show.
We're across the hall from each other. Well, I'm sorry. He likes talking. He doesn't like talking with him in our office.
Now it's like Roast Steve episode.
I'm sorry. I gotta say, hey, you know what? It's your turn. No, just kidding.
No, go ahead. Finish the story.
This is funny. Okay, this is real. There's a point to this. So we had a door between because our offices were across the hall. Stephen, we'd have the doors open, and Stephen still insisted that we Skype each other.
You know why?
And not talk.
You know why that is?
Why?
Because
I'm sorry. I don't mean to throw you under the bus.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It takes way more than that. There's theoretically no emotion when you type. When you do you need this file to go out today? Yes. There's no emotion in that.
Okay.
Or yes, please. There's just a lot of ways that things can go wrong. Especially in your mind.
I just thought that was so funny.
There's a lot of ways that things go wrong when people in a conversation.
It's funny.
And there's a lot less ways on Skype or texting.
Right. That makes me think of the bananas. And I'll save the banana story
for
another time.
I don't even know what you mean.
You don't know the banana story?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't see how. You know what? Go ahead and say it because I don't know. I still don't understand this banana thing and why it makes everybody laugh so hard. It's like that globe in a flashlight thing.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff I just don't.
This is good.
I guess I have a mental block.
This is so good. All right. So this was years ago. Whole different employees, all that stuff. But Stephen, I love that you are the best partner. I don't know why I'm prefacing this, but I feel like
it's coming.
It's coming.
It's something bad's
You're
coming.
You're the best partner. I wouldn't change a thing, and I mean this, but I was just kind of learning the way you do things back then. And one of the ways Stephen operates is if you put a piece of gum in your mouth, you shred the wrapper.
What?
Yeah, everything gets shredded. Sticky note. Well, I know you're right. It's really with sticky notes and notes on our desk, and I do agree with that because there's a lot of personal things. You might jot down something, and you're jotting down your new password that you just entered into whatever, and we got to be. It's easier instead of filtering your notes, just shred it all. So that's been Stephen's philosophy, and I hadn't learned that yet. So. I ate a banana and I was shoving the banana in the shredder.
No, really?
I almost did. I was holding the banana over the shredder and we were kind of laughing because I was so mad at because you got on me again. Because you know why? Because I kept, in your defense, I kept forgetting. You would remind me to do it and I kept forgetting. And you would come along and go, what is this? And you're pulling stuff out of the trash to put it in the shredder. I'm like, why do I have to shred everything? And I was so frustrated. Well, there was more going on that day. So I was about to jam up the shredder with a banana peel is what I was going to do.
I want to hear it even way worse office story than
that. Okay.
Now, since we started Land Academy, I honestly think this. Since we started Land Academy, it's just, I don't know. I love what we're doing. Mm-hmm. The whole land business, we're still killing it.
Yeah.
But I'm a lot more.
A lot of inventory all the time.
A lot more hands off about it, I guess. I just kind of make this like, yes, we should buy it or no, we shouldn't. Right. And then everything else kind of happens and that's better. But since we started Land Academy, it's such a rewarding thing. It's not just about money that I've just calmed down about so much stuff.
It's true.
That being said, here's a story.
Oh, here it comes.
One time, this was actually at the land company long before
me
you were involved.
Okay.
And some crap was going on with some employees, and we spent a tremendous amount of time and money and energy going paperless, which is tough to do in a real estate company because there's deeds involved and stuff, and you can never completely get away from printing stuff. You still have to print some stuff and get it in the mail to notaries, and So there were some people there that were former escrow agents, and some of them had the right attitude and some of them didn't. And there was paper everywhere constantly. I mean, we spent a lot of money on getting scanners and teaching people out. And they just did. For me, it's an attitude and respect and like subordination and insubordination. It's not boot camp, but we spent all this money and a time, and their attitude was, well, that's not how I'm going to do it. Thanks.
Oh,
so I
it wasn't an oversight. It was we're not going to do what you say, even though you say that we're going to do it our way.
I don't know if they were intentionally saying. It was just that was what they were. That was what was coming out of them. I don't think they were maliciously doing it. I just think maybe that's what their personality was.
Oh, because he doesn't know. Maybe it was that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Well, anyway, it wasn't what I wanted.
Oh,
and I was the owner.
Oh, how'd that end?
I took one day I came in and there's all this stuff all over. It's multiple people's desks have just paper and documents. You know how much paper there can be if you let it in any regular real estate deal. Uh-huh. So I threw it all. I shredded it all. And I took all the waste baskets out of the whole company, and I took all the filing cabinets out. I had somebody come in. Did I ever tell you this story?
No, I believe it.
I mean, in the end, I was delaying my own real estate transaction. It was awful, but they got the message finally. Mm-hmm. I'm just not. It's not. I look bad. I probably sound like a crazy man right now, don't I?
Maybe just a little. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No,
I finally made my point. There's no more paper. It takes too long.
No, you're right.
It wasn't just that I don't like paper, because I don't like paper, but it wasn't just that. It's like there's so much. It's the 21st century.
Yep.
And there's easy ways to do these deals.
Right.
So back to employees, I
got two things to
go ahead.
To comment on that. One is right now you're sitting here reminding me that there's too much paper in my world, and there's not a lot. I know you're right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back. Thanks. So what is Jill going to do after this podcast? Going to go shred everything on her desk. Number one. Number two, Stephen, to this day, you still do not have a trash can in your office.
I never have.
I know that.
Never.
I know.
I've never had a filing cabinet or any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, I'm not saying this is right or wrong. It just works for me. Every day when I leave the office, no matter what time it is, there's nothing on my desk. There's nothing in the drawers, nothing.
Mm-hmm. I'm aware of that.
So I just feel like it's undone if there's stuff going on like that.
Got it.
Or maybe I just hide it in corners and forget it.
That's it. You're a secret hoarder. I just haven't found it yet.
Oh, that's not it. So back to employees. I'm going to leave it at this. I had a long time ago, former partner. We were having lunch one day, and I said we were having a tough time. It might have been the same time that this story happened. And I said, the next time that we start a company, it's not going to have any customers and any employees.
How'd that work?
Never going to happen.
No.
You have to deal with it.
That's true.
Pick the ones that are good, and don't hesitate to get the ones that are out of there. I've seen people wait years too long to let people go, and it's really suffer for it.
It's true.
Join us in another episode where Jill and I discuss your all-important success in land investment and in life.
So at the end of the day, do you think we agree or disagree? I think we kind of agree.
I know we agree.
Okay.
And if we don't, it's like it's a mom and dad situation. Let's be honest.
It's true.
You have compassion about it, and I get involved when it's a mess, and I straighten it out. And they have that thing in the back of their head that says, "Man, if he gets involved, it's going to be way worse than if I just deal with it with her." Mm-hmm. Just like kids do.
Right. Well, that's why we're good business. Well, we're good business partners because we deal with people differently, and that's helpful. And then also we look at things differently in business, not just employees. But
you and I have always had that long vision. Always exactly the same. How we have ideas about how to get there are slightly different and sometimes drastically different. But that's what I think. That's a podcast actually. If you're involved with somebody, whether it's romantically, personally, professionally, or any or all of that, and they have a long-term vision that's drastically different than yours or vice versa, that's a problem.
It's true. That is a whole nother show, and you're right. And it is important.
And you and I have never had that.
Mm-mm. No, we've always agreed on the big picture.
Yeah.
The big picture, the end goals.
Right. How to get there, maybe. I don't know. Not so much.
Right. What we're doing today, not so much. But that's okay. But as long as that big thing there, that's huge.
I mean, have you ever been in a partnership or a relationship where, let's say, I'm just throwing this out as an example. In the back of your head, your goal is to get debt free. Mm-hmm. And that's the furthest thing from the person.
And then that person, all they're doing is getting more credit cards because they got all these deals. You're like, you just want to shoot them. Really?
So, I mean, that kind of stuff, aside from the fact that it's hard that day and that week and that month, it's just not good. It's
painful.
Not repairable.
No, no one's on the same page. And I could say it'd be a problem every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have been in
one,
those
too.
situations.
Yeah,
Not
me
that
too.
exact one.
Me too.
But
and not that exact one.
that's things like that. And I got out of them.
So did I.
Yeah,
Now we're here
exactly.
talking to each other.
Yes, we are.
2 listeners.
Yeah.
Let's go buy some property.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
Landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.